Have you ever wondered what the key to a fulfilling life is? Do you want to know how to achieve true wealth? Are you looking for timeless wisdom that can help you navigate life's challenges? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Wisdom Project, where we explore the teachings of history's greatest thinkers and apply them to modern life. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most influential philosophers in history, Socrates. Socrates lived in ancient Greece over 2,000 years ago, but his ideas and teachings are still relevant today. In this video, we're going to be discussing 4 of Socrates' most famous quotes and exploring how they can help us live better, more fulfilling lives. But before we dive into the quotes, let me tell you a story. It's a story about a successful business person named John. John had it all: a high-paying job, a beautiful home, and a loving family. But despite his success, John felt unfulfilled. He was always stressed, always busy, and always chasing the next big thing. He knew that something was missing from his life, but he didn't know what it was. One day, John stumbled upon a book of Socrates' teachings. As he read through the quotes and ideas, something clicked. He realized that he had been so focused on external success that he had forgotten to examine his own life and values. He started to ask himself the tough questions that Socrates had posed, and he began to make changes in his life. He started to prioritize his relationships, his health, and his own personal growth. And as he did, he found that he was happier and more fulfilled than ever before. So, what can we learn from John's story? Well, for one thing, we can see that Socrates' teachings are still relevant today. Even in our modern, fast-paced world, we can benefit from taking the time to examine our lives and values. And that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. So let's dive in and explore the wisdom of Socrates. Chapter 1. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. One of Socrates' most famous quotes is, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." At first glance, this might seem like a paradox. How can someone be wise if they know nothing? But what Socrates meant by this quote is that true wisdom comes from recognizing the limits of our own knowledge. Socrates believed that many people went through life thinking they knew everything, when in reality they knew very little. He believed that the key to true wisdom was recognizing that there was always more to learn, and that we should approach life with a sense of humility and curiosity. This quote is still relevant today, especially in a world where information is constantly changing and evolving. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we know everything, but the truth is that there is always more to learn. By embracing the idea that we know nothing, we open ourselves up to new ideas and perspectives, and we become better learners and thinkers. So, how can we apply this quote to our own lives? One way is to approach new situations and challenges with an open mind. Instead of assuming that we know everything, we can ask questions, seek out new information, and be willing to admit when we don't know something. By doing so, we can become more humble, more curious, and ultimately, wiser. Chapter 2. The unexamined life is not worth living. Another famous quote from Socrates is, "The unexamined life is not worth living." This quote speaks to the importance of self-reflection and introspection. Socrates believed that many people went through life without ever really thinking about what they wanted or what was important to them. He believed that this was a tragic waste of life. For Socrates, the examined life was one in which we constantly questioned our own beliefs and values. It was a life in which we were always striving to become better versions of ourselves. By examining our lives, we could identify our strengths and weaknesses, our passions and goals, and ultimately, live more fulfilling lives. This quote is still relevant today, especially in a world where it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind. By taking the time to examine our lives, we can ensure that we're living in alignment with our values and goals. We can identify areas where we need to grow and improve, and we can make changes that will lead to greater happiness and fulfillment. So, how can we apply this quote to our own lives? One way is to set aside time for self-reflection on a regular basis. This could be as simple as taking a few minutes each day to journal or meditate, or it could involve more structured exercises like goal setting or values clarification. By making self-reflection a priority, we can ensure that we're living the examined life that Socrates believed was so important. Chapter 3. Beware the barrenness of a busy life. Socrates also famously said, "Beware the barrenness of a busy life." This quote speaks to the danger of being too busy and too focused on external success. Socrates believed that many people went through life chasing after wealth, power, and status, without ever stopping to consider whether these things were truly important. For Socrates, a fulfilling life was one in which we had time for the things that truly mattered: our relationships, our passions, and our own personal growth. He believed that being too busy was a recipe for unhappiness and unfulfillment. This quote is still relevant today, especially in a world where business is often seen as a badge of honor. We're encouraged to work harder, achieve more, and constantly be on the go. But the truth is that being too busy can actually be detrimental to our well-being. By taking the time to slow down and focus on what's truly important, we can live more fulfilling lives. So, how can we apply this quote to our own lives? One way is to prioritize our time and energy. Instead of saying yes to every opportunity that comes our way, we can be more selective and focus on the things that truly matter. We can set boundaries around our time and learn to say no when necessary. By doing so, we can avoid the barrenness of a busy life and instead focus on the things that truly bring us joy and fulfillment. Chapter 4. I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think. Socrates once said, "I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think." This quote speaks to the importance of critical thinking and self-discovery. Socrates believed that his role as a teacher was not to impart knowledge, but rather to help his students think for themselves. For Socrates, the best way to learn was through questioning and dialogue. He believed that by asking questions and challenging assumptions, his students could arrive at their own conclusions and develop their own understanding of the world. This quote is still relevant today, especially in a world where information is readily available at our fingertips. It's easy to fall into the trap of accepting information at face value, without ever questioning its validity. By embracing the idea that we must think for ourselves, we can become more discerning consumers of information and develop our own critical thinking skills. So, how can we apply this quote to our own lives? One way is to approach new information with a healthy dose of skepticism. Instead of accepting everything we read or hear as truth, we can ask questions, do our own research, and come to our own conclusions. By doing so, we can become more independent thinkers and better able to navigate the complexities of the modern world. Conclusion. So, there you have it. 4 of Socrates' most famous quotes and how they can help us live better, more fulfilling lives. We've explored the importance of humility, self-reflection, prioritization, critical thinking, and authenticity. These are all timeless ideas that are just as relevant today as they were over 2,000 years ago. I hope that this video has inspired you to think more deeply about your own life and values. Remember, the key to a fulfilling life is not external success, but rather a sense of purpose and authenticity. By embracing the wisdom of Socrates, we can all become better learners, thinkers, and human beings. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe to the Wisdom Project for more videos like this. And don't forget to check the links in the video description to get access to the most powerful manifestation course available right now, as well as my recommended Amazon book list. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.